All right, everyone. So, one of the stories of the NFL season has been the return of Phillip Rivers. And I've loved this storyline so much because I actually think he's looked okay. Okay, now, has he looked phenomenal? No, but you can't tell me that if you gave him a full off season, right, and put him behind a team that whose offensive line could protect him maybe a little bit better, right? Because even towards the end with Daniel Jones, that offensive line seemed to be getting a little bit worse, although it hasn't been great, right, or hasn't been terrible. But if you could put him in a perfect position, I think he could still throw the football a little bit. With that said, he spoke out after the game. I'm torn on how to express it because it's been a blast. Rivers said via Stephen Holder of ESPN.com. It's been a blast to repair and go get ready and go out there and warm up and do all that with these guys again. But again, the name of the game is not go have a good time. It's help find a way to lead your team to a win. And we've come up short. I think one thing you have to understand is with him, especially in the game against the Seahawks, first of all, they almost won that one. In this one, I mean, you played two of the best teams in the NFC, right? You have the 49ers. Maybe people think they're marginal as it pertains to being one of the best teams because maybe you're saying their schedule's a little bit easier, but they may very well be the number one seed when all things are said and done. And you played the Seahawks, another one that's in the running for one of the best teams in the NFC. So I don't think there's anything he has to kind of hang his head on here. But of course, he would have liked to have come in and delivered them, the two wins because they would have had a shot to get in the playoffs if he was able to win out. But obviously, it was just such a nightmare schedule, a nightmare situation. And you could tell his limitations, right? You really can see it on full display, but you can also see how he can make some throws, right? And I think he can make enough that if you didn't have some of the injuries that this team had, you might have very well have seen, them pull out a game against the Seahawks, right? They were so close. And even against the 49ers, the 49ers problem with them is they're just one of those teams that really can score the football and they really, they have a good defense, but they can also score the football and we saw it in this one, right? I mean, it's just tough to keep up. I mean, he put up 27 points, right? I mean, the Colts, it's not like they didn't score a ton, right? He threw for two touchdowns. He was 20th 23 for 35, 277 yards. I understand a lot of people are going to talk about the limitations on the film. I get it, but think about all the other quarterbacks in this league and the limitations we've seen them have. I'm not going to jump on him for that. I think he's done everything and maybe even more than they've asked of him at this point. And obviously, he wanted to get wins, but he has not been the problem, right? And I think the Colts are just a perfect storm of injuries and everything that's happened that really has hurt this team and is the reason why they may end up missing the playoffs. It's not just the Daniel Jones, but you look all over the place. They have just key injuries here and there that I think are limiting their ability, to continue what they started early on in the season. But Philip Rivers, you got to give some credit to this guy because he has come out and I think he's given about as good of an effort as you can expect. And I understand, like I said, talking about his age and all of that. I don't think there's too many 25-year-olds that could step in and do what he's done on such a short period of time. He just understands the offense. He's making the right reads. There, of course, are those limitations, but overall, I think the Colts fans have to be about as happy as he could be, considering what the other side of this was, which was like, is he going to get hurt out there? I mean, that's what people were talking about for the year. So thank you all for watching.